Why are your chords so boring? That's a question I ask myself all the time. When I saw the chord D, just play this shape. Sometimes even this bar chord. When I saw the chord C major, just play this shape or this shape. Now, they're totally fine. They're even great, but there is way more. And what I'm talking about is the open triads. Masters like this guitar player are using these sounds all the time. Songs like that, you know this song. That moment, that's basically an open triad. There's way more, and the way more is exactly what we're talking about today. The good news is you can do it really in just a couple of minutes. So listen up and let's do this. So we're gonna start with the major triads, then we'll do the minor, and then we'll mix them and we'll make really, really cool sounds. Just to get the vibe, if I'm taking C major, so that sound is just C to F. C, first inversion, F, and then another open C. Let's see the shape. So we have C major, and instead of playing it this way, I like sometimes playing it that way. So I have the 1, the third finger, the 5, and the 3, and it's such a rich, full sound. Because you have the 1, the 5, and the 3 versus just the 1 and 3, so it's a little emptier. That gives it a lot of overtones, and that's really beautiful, especially with guitar. That low register is really, really resonating. It sounds beautiful. The second one is the first inversion. Again, the open triads here make it so much more lush. If I'm just comparing that C or even C first inversion, kind of closed position with this, this is, for me, it really sings. And then this is second inversion, this is G in the bass, E and C. So again, just let's look and understand the first three options. So root position, this way or that way. I like this way a lot of times. And then going to first inversion like so, and then second inversion. And then root position again on the top. Now notice that we actually have a melody here. I just released a 26-week guitar transformation with Rotem, that's me. It was sold out this summer. It will be open in the fall. If you want to hear and know more info, check this out. So actually, because it's the top note, it feels like a melody. So if we know a lot of these shapes and we start getting comfortable, we can create a lot of melodies. That's coming up soon. So first, let's see the shapes. So again, 3, 1, and 4. And then 1, 4, and 2. This is first inversion, this is second inversion. If you need a full PDF, it's also on Patreon. And then root position back here on top. Okay, so one of the questions, one of the problems that a lot of people have is actually taking that from practice to real life, right? So instead of me just showing the chords, I want you to really know them, and the way to know them and the way to practice them in a really, really helpful and truthful way, if you will, is singing them and playing them in time. So first of all, I want to listen to the bass and I want to sing the bass note. So this is me just singing the root note to feel the inversion. So I'm telling myself in my mind, this is root position, this is first inversion, this is second inversion, that's how it feels against the C, and then that's again root position. Now I'll sing the bass, the moving bass. So do, mi, sol, so do, mi, sol, do. But remember, feeling versus just knowing makes all the difference in the world. Okay, so we have root position first, second, and again root position. Now, I think for me and for a lot of people that I work with, playing things in time is super helpful in the process of learning. It doesn't need to be fast, but it needs to be clear. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, second inversion, 3, 4, root position and back, second inversion and root, first inversion, right? And again, you can play with the metronome, you can play just kind of like loosely like I'm doing right now, you can say it, you can sing it. All these things really makes a big difference in the process of learning. And if you want to learn things deeply and truthfully, I think this is really the way. Cool, so we have the major sound. Now, before I go to minor, which is really, really cool because it's so beautiful, I want to make sure we have it, so I'm going to change the chord. Instead of C, we'll play it over the chord G. So the same thing. Now, again, if this doesn't work here, in this case it does because I can use the open string, you can always do this version. So 1, 5, and 3. One of the reasons that I would change the fingerings at times is to use the same string set. So if I'm using that string set of the 6th string, for example, and I like to keep my fingers and both in picking hand and playing hand the same, so I would keep these shapes like so. What I mean by that is if I want to use, for example, hammer on or pull off, like stuff like that. So I'm basically kind of keeping the same string set. It could be low, it could be high. I do want to use the same string sets. That's why I'm saying it's an option. So we have this root position, first inversion, and second inversion, and then again root. And I would play this as well in time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and feeling it. 1, 2, 3, 4. When I'm playing these chords as well, I want to be aware of the sound and the notes. So G, B, and D are being ordered in different ways. So G, D, B on top, B, G, D on top, and D, B, D, B, and G on top. Now for me, I think about solfege, so for me it's like Sol, Re, Si, Si, Sol, Re. That's easier for me to think about that, so I'm always doing the translation for you guys instead of kind of like solfege 2 letters. It's totally fine, whatever works, they're both the same as long as we know the notes. I want to see the melodies and I want to see the notes that I'm playing so I can create and understand in a truthful way what I'm doing. Cool, so we have major, let's check out the minor. So the minors, I go back to C. So instead of C major, like this or like this, I'm playing minor. So I like this shape more, so I'm gonna do this. 1, 5, and 3 on top. So beautiful. And then first inversion, flat 3, 1, and 5. So again, E flat, C, and G, and then 5, flat 3, and 1, C minor, basically second inversion, and again C minor. So beautiful. Compare that to the major. Now look, I know you know the difference between major and minor, but it's so nice to hear it in this kind of way. Maybe it's inspiring you to create something and write something. A very important step is to actually create with this information. So I'll take 4 chords from C, 1, 5, G, then A minor, 6, and F. Now we heard these songs so many times, right? A million songs. But playing it this way always kind of sounds the same, but I can actually get a lot of melodies. It's a beautiful chord progression if you think about it. But maybe 1 to 1 first inversion, 2 to 6 first inversion to 6 root position, then 5 first inversion, root to the 1. Another really fun exercise is taking these ideas, these sounds and shapes, starting from C, but then departing and trying different sounds utilizing these open triads. Let me try for a second. And I can start departing. And of course, I'm just exploring these sounds. I know it sounds kind of far-fetched if this is very new to you, but it's the same way with any language, right? It sounds complicated because you are not as comfortable with these shapes. Once you start getting comfortable, even with these, couple of shapes, and you start moving them around, you'll discover a whole new world. Really, really beautiful, really fun, and super easy in that sense. It's just a few shapes.